We back again for the UFC Perth post show, as well as Wanderlei Silva getting knocked out brutally after more information came out revealing, listen, this was after a disqualification loss for repeated fouls on Wanderlei's part. After this man weighed in 44 pounds overweight for his fucking boxing match against I don't know who. But this man's team was basically heated as fuck after all the bullshit they put up with Wanderlei. And as soon as this match was over with, as far as the referee waved it off, this man's corner stepped in immediately, started beefing with Wanderlei's corner. You got Fabricio Verdum, this is him right here, calling peace, and it was no peace. These guys wanted smoke. They immediately started fighting, and moments later, Wanderlei gets knocked out. You have a ring official dragging his fucking unconscious corpse across the ring. Insane. We have it all. We have it all. Let's go ahead and play this. Did he get up and start helping with the brawl? No, he didn't get up after this. But he did try helping with the brawl and it didn't fucking work out for him. Ready, boys?
Fim de papo, foi pra conta, a vitória é do Acelino Popó Freitas. Popó vence Wanderlei Silva e a briga generalizada. Aí não. As duas equipes acabaram entrando no ringue. Era tudo o que não podia acontecer. Aí não. Não é esse exemplo que a gente quer passar. Não é esse exemplo. A segurança tem que ser acionada agora. Definitivamente não é isso que a gente queria estar vivendo. Não é esse o exemplo que os atletas de esporte de combate dão para o mundo inteiro. Atitude muito feia das duas equipes e dos dois atletas. Não é isso que a gente esperava. Fim de papo foi...
So everyone's saying, Wanderlei had it coming. He let him get too close. He's an asshole. Not very many positive things to say about Wanderlei after this brutal knockout. I'll tell you that much right now. Very few positive things to say. One more time, though. Let's take it from the top one more time. I want you to see the handiwork. At least Fabricio Verdum was able to stand on business, Watch Verdum here. And he goes from peace. As soon as a punch is thrown, it's all, you know what I mean? Everything goes out the window. Former UFC heavyweight champion right here. Destroyed Cain Velasquez. He wanted no parts of Tony Ferguson, though, I'll tell you that much. If you know, you know.
Fim de papo foi pra conta, a vitória é do Acelino.
See them? They're pointing fingers, I told you. They're pissed as fuck. I want to know when High Taper Fade comes in, though. Because that's the man who knocked out, what's his name? Silva.
Freitas.
So they're pointing fingers. Here's Verdum. Punch gets
Vence
thrown.
Wanderlei Silva e a briga generalizada. Aí não. As duas equipes acabaram entrando no ringue. Era tudo o que não podia acontecer. Aí não. Não é esse exemplo que a gente quer passar. Não é esse exemplo. A segurança tem que ser acionada agora. Definitivamente não é isso que a gente queria estar vivendo. Não é esse o exemplo que os atletas de esporte de combate dão para o mundo inteiro. Atitude muito feia das duas equipes e dos dois atletas. Não é isso que a gente esperava. Fim de papo foi para conta.
Impression of Roger Jackson stepping in to defend Wanderlei. Let me see here. So you see Verdum putting the hand out, peace. Things start going left. This guy rushes in. Black sweater right here. Kicks things off. Now, it's no holds barred. And watch Verdun.
Wanderlei Silva aí a briga generalizada. Aí não.
Starts swinging more.
Aí não. As duas equipes acabaram entrando no ringue.
Unleashes a combo here. Now this is high taper fade. This man would go to knock out this man right here.
Era tudo que não podia acontecer. Aí não. Não é esse exemplo que a gente quer passar. Não é esse exemplo. Não é esse exemplo. A segurança tem que ser acionada agora.
Watch Verdun's body get dragged across the canvas.
Não é isso que a gente está vivendo. Não é esse o exemplo que os atletas de esporte de combate dão para o mundo inteiro. Atitude muito feia das duas equipes e dos dois atletas. Não é isso que a gente esperava. Fim de papo, foi para conta a vitória.
As far as the impression of Roger Jackson stepping in to defend Wanderlei, it would be something like he comes in, picks up high taper fade, slams him, knocks his ass out, and hits him with all that ground and pound. Classic Roger 1-2. Okay, here's another angle. Boom. Slow-mo, boom. Right hook from hell. Ring official. Dragging his unconscious corpse. Glass is flying. Still out. Seizing. One more. Boom. Dragging his ass. Standing over him. Insane. Come get these guys, man. Come get these guys. They're way too old to be doing shit like this. Way too old to be doing shit like this. What up, Scott, my boy? I'm chilling, brother. I'm chilling. Hope you're good too. Scott hopping in the chat already, number 3. My boy Scott. Alright, another angle. Another angle. Peep this. Bro barely got a wrinkle on him. He's like 50 years old. Slow-mo angle from another side. Boom! Zoomed in. Verdun trying to get that lick back. Look, look, look. Zoomed in. Slow-mo. Boom! Clocked his ass right on the lip. Right on the chin mouth area. One more. Boom! Didn't even see it coming. Fabricio's like, bro, hey, what the hell? There it is right there. You see that headbutt? There's the context. There's the context right there. The fight got waved off right after this, and that's when the chaos ensued. Look. Boom! Boom! Dirty as fuck, dude. That's dirty as fuck. Did he have it coming? Now that you've seen that headbutt, right? That wasn't the first one. That was repeated fouls. Finally got disqualified. Boom! You know what I mean? That shit's messed up. The fact that you have to say Wanderlei, but it's spelled Wanderlei, is tough. CTE time. Shout out MMA Holes. What up, homie? Bro, his CTE came out in full effect in this fight. He couldn't help himself. That headbutt was pure CTE self-destruction at its finest. You know what I mean? Then he gets a little bit more CTE on the way out with the fucking Cold cock right hook to the chin. Crazy work. He should have been chilling at home, bro. Look at him here. He didn't even get hit in the eye. You guys all saw the video, but his eye's somehow black. Probably from the boxing match. I don't know. I didn't watch the boxing match. MMA fighters need to stop fighting boxers. Doesn't end well. Definitely doesn't end well. I'm of the belief that the only reason why these MMA fighters are doing shit like this is because they're broke. Which is crazy because a guy like Tony Ferguson barely been retired for a fucking year and he needs money like that to go fight Salt Poppy. No shade, no shade. He got the win. But I'm just saying. You would have thought that Tony's like off into the sunset, right? After all those fights in the UFC, that huge ass win streak, you would have thought he's off in the sunset. Turns around and starts boxing. Here's this guy, 50 years old. Still boxing. Still doing bullshit. I mean, we got to see what Chael Sonnen said, right? This is the guy, apparently. And he's got a belt? Oh, shit. Give a belt to that hero. Dita and Verdum and others were beating his father. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, this guy came in actually from Wanderlei's side, I noticed. Wanderlei deserved it. Dirty fighter. This is so... The old man never gives a chance to these little shoot box kids again. Dirty gym full of dirty people. 5 headbutts in the fight. Even hit the referee. Ridiculous, this guy. This is boxing, not MMA. So, you know, I guess Fabiano tuned in. 5 headbutts is crazy. Hey, Randy, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that heavily. We're going to get into that heavily. Just bear with me. Did you see that he came in and punched Wanderlei in the back of the neck, then grabbed Wanderlei off guard while trying to break up the fight? Doesn't justify it, but Wanderlei hit the guy first and got knocked out. Alright. I'm just more interested now in hearing what Chael Sonnen had to say. If you guys want to follow the man, it's right here. Who knows? The son of Popo who entered with the belt in hand and knocked out Wanderlei, in my opinion, in the greatest cowardice. It's up to you, everyone's entitled to an opinion. 129k views. Dr. Juan P. Freitas. I don't speak Spanish and shit, so I can't read that. The son of Popo. So, I don't know. Shout out Popo and shit. Chael Sonnen says, Wanderlei Silva knocked out cold by a man wearing a tuxedo. True story. True as it gets. Told Wanderlei before the fight he should retire. Bro, he shouldn't have even fought being 44 pounds over. Is crazy work. Crazy work. Insanity, bro. Well, now that we saw what Chael had to say. Let me see. Yeah, I don't even know where he tweeted that. So shout out to MMA Fighting who posted it. A lot of fighters have had issues with Silva outside the ring, going back to the Pride days. Yeah, I mean, you name it. You name it. Chael Sonnen, Crazy Horse, or not Crazy Horse, but what is that his name? Charles Bennett? Is it Crazy Horse? It's late over here, boys. Yeah, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. Viral backstage encounter there. Somebody should do a documentary, the history of Wanderlei Silva. That would be crazy. That would go viral, especially right now. Or if that was already out, bro, we'd be Googling that right now, watching it on here. Is there a YouTube doc on that? The history of Wanderlei Silva would be a great YouTube doc. Not exactly. Okay, one last thing. I just want to check MMA Fighting, see if there's like an article write-up about this or anything. So this is just reactions. Not interested in this article. Let me see this article. Silva's first boxing match ended in disaster Saturday night in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The axe murderer met Brazilian boxing legend Acilino Freitas in the main event of Spartan Fight Night 2 and was knocked out cold by a member of Freitas' team when a post-fight brawl broke out seconds after Silva was disqualified for multiple fouls committed in the fourth round. Silva outweighed the experienced Freitas by nearly 50 pounds and tried to be more aggressive, but had no answer for Popo's refined technique. Okay, so that was his son. Makes sense. Popo's son knocked out fucking Wanderlei. That's wild. The axe murder was rocked in round 1 and clipped again in round 2. Things got wild in the third round with Silva literally walking over Freitas and dropping him on the round with a push. No knockdown is awarded, and Freitas got back for a wild finish to the round with multiple punches thrown after the bell. The referee had to separate both fighters in round 4 when they kept punching each other. Silva was deducted a point for a headbutt and then another one. Freitas landed a perfect left hook to Silva's chin, and Silva committed another foul. The referee deducted Silva a third point in that round and then disqualified him. Chaos broke out from that point on with Silva's team, including fellow UFC veteran Fabricio Verdum and Andre Dida, entering the ring to fight with members of Freitas' corner. Punches and kicks were thrown, and Silva was knocked out cold inside the ring by a man wearing a tuxedo. Damn. By a man wearing a tuxedo who turns out to be the son of Popo. Wild shit. Wild shit. Just trying to see if there's anything else. No, not much. Okay. Now, UFC Perth. Let me get some water real quick, and then we'll get into UFC Perth. Give me 1 second. Okay, the UFC Perth post show. It was we all know going into it, lack of ticket sales, the reduction in ticket prices, lackluster card, not a pay-per-view, all narratives going into this card. The card was what it was. Not really here to talk about it being a good or bad card, but I will say it's not the worst card in the world. I get it. We can get into this whole thing, but in the press conference, I think his name's Dave Shaw, goes ahead and addresses it, and his explanation was good enough for me. Basically, what he says is, you got to set this kind of stuff up, right? So, although it was lower value names on this card, what this does is the locals who got the wins, which, City Kickboxing went 4-0, the locals who got the wins can now be set up to where the fan base knows them, and maybe for the next pay-per-view you can put them on there and people actually know who they are, grow their name that way. So they're investing. You can't always have banger after banger after banger. You got to kind of, build, then you deliver bangers, then you build. So that's all this is. That's why it's not really our job to criticize that heavily. Now, going from the main event down, Carlos Ulberg knocks out Dominic Reyes in the first round, kills the comeback, kills it, derails it. The comeback for Dominic Reyes is no more. Now, Ulberg goes ahead and solidifies himself, in my opinion, as the number one contender at light heavyweight. 9 wins in a row, first round knockout, main event against the toughest opponent yet. On top of that, light heavyweight needs new matchups, right? Ulberg, no pun intended, pretty face, put him right up in there, right? New face. Spoiler alert, he's calling to be the backup already for next week's light heavyweight title fight rematch between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. So he wants to fly out there. He says he's going to be out there. Hunter Campbell confirmed it. So he'll be in attendance, and he wants the winner. Like I said, I think he deserves it. But also, you also got Khalil Roundtree and Yuri Prohaska there. So again, I love Ulberg in that conversation. You know what I mean? I don't think Ulberg should fight the winner of that. I think he's in line for a title shot. But again, being able to watch those guys fight as well live, I think it only does good things for him. Is it a little overzealous to want to fight again next week? I do think it's a little bit overzealous. I'm going to just be real. BSD just turned down a fight. Didn't BSD get like a first round submission too? Was it first round? Let's look it up real quick. Second round. Regardless, too soon, right? Weight cuts and all this kind of stuff. Ulberg explains his reasoning in the post-fight press conference, which we're going to watch after I recap this card. But, to the moon for Ulberg. Dominic Reyes, it's all good, brother. It's all good. You had your time, solid win on Ulberg's part. It is what it is. If you want to keep fighting, do your thing, right? Do your thing. 35 years old, you got a little bit of juice in the tank. 1, 2 more. Blessings upon Dominic Reyes, though. I know he had that whole John Jones thing. I don't really think about that ever. I just think he's a cool dude. Been through a lot in the sport, ups and downs. I think he spent a lot of time stressing about what could have been if he got that decision over John Jones. But, at the end of the day, man, that can't be your claim to fame, right? So, I think all that aside, Dominic, a cool dude. Jimmy Crute, Yvonne Urslan. At the end of the day, dude, I'm not very familiar with Yvonne Urslan, so sorry about that. But he looked terrible. Swinging over his front feet constantly, leaning, reaching. Then he gets fucking basically just bulldog choked by Jimmy Crute like I would do my fucking like homie in high school. You know what I'm saying? Just stands over him, cups his chin, and just yanks it up. And he had the presence of mind to realize that this dude was fucking in a severe amount of pain, and this dude tapped from that. That's fucking crazy work, Yvonne Urslan. Did you dirty. Round 1. Congrats to Jimmy Crute. Now, as far as what's next for Jimmy Crute, he had nothing really to say, so, I don't really got much to say either. He's been through the ups and the downs in this game. He's fought almost everybody. Check out the resume, he could fight anyone. He could literally fight anyone. Jack Jenkins, Ramon Tavares. Ramon Tavares was a guy Dana White was high on, coming off Contender Series. Gave him quite a few opportunities. He did decent, for a while. Came back, won his second fight on Contender Series, won his debut in a rematch against the guy he lost to on the first fight, which Dana, found controversial. And since that, it's been rough for Tavares. As you see, 2 straight UD losses in a row. Davey Grant, high-level opponent. Jack Jenkins, another high-level opponent. I'm going to be real with you. I think Jenkins a little bit of a step below Grant, but still, I think it's showing that Ramon needs to take another step down in competition, because Jenkins dominated that whole fight. Jenkins, another one, young in his career. Matchmakers do a good job. Give him whoever. Now, this was a controversial one. Neil Magny, Jake Matthews. Crazy work, right? So this ends in a rear naked choke. Neil Magny was just grinding on Jake with this darce, like the lock of a darce. He was locking it in while they were just standing up. And then he was using it to drag Jake Matthews to the ground. Wasn't even like a front headlock. It was literally he would lock up a darce standing, drag Jake to the ground. Jake fought out of it once or twice, but Jake eventually got stuck in it in the third, and he tapped to that shit. He tapped to it. Bitter fucking sweet. Not even sweet, just bitter for Jake Matthews. Because the issue here is, I want to say in the second round. I'm not recalling it exactly at the moment. But Jake Matthews had Neil Magny in a guillotine, essentially mounted him in a guillotine. And, to be honest with you, Neil Magny was perfectly fine. He wasn't going out from that. I don't think the guillotine was super, super tight to where Neil was going to be panicking. And he could have probably been in there for another minute or so, I would imagine. And Jake probably would have let that go. Anyway, Neil, as the seconds were coming down, Neil's arm just kind of goes like that. And the ref instantly takes that as he's out. So if you rewatch the replay, he says he's out and then grabs his arm to test it. You got to grab the arm to test it and then say he's out. There's got to be 2 measures of judgment here. Your eyes, and then you got to physically test it real quick or see something, right? Because the eyes could fail you. So long story short, he waves off the fight with probably like a second left in the round. Again, so it doesn't really matter that much. So Jake lets go, and Neil protests, and he's allowed to continue. He goes, nope, fuck no, I'm not out. I'm perfectly fine. There's no way you're calling that fight. And he sits on his stool, and the referee goes, all right, Jake Matthews, back to your corner. After Matthews just celebrated and shit like that for a second. Brief celebration, nothing crazy. Nothing like Anderson Silva and Michael Bisping back in the day. But, look at that, how that turned out, right? Silva ended up losing that one too. So bittersweet shit. But anyway, that that's why it's bittersweet for Matthews, because there's an argument like if the referee waved it off, regardless of if it's a mistake or not, you know, you might have to honor that call, because Jake Matthews let go with a second left. Now, do I think Magny was in any jeopardy of getting put out with the second left? Absolutely not. But again, only these guys really, really know. So, that's where it's tough. I guess Jake Matthews has the option, if he wants to try to appeal this this submission loss, to like a no contest or something. But they talked about this in the post-fight presser, so we'll play this as well. Tom Nolan has arrived. Charlie Campbell, tough loss. Charlie Campbell started off hot in this fight. Dropped Nolan once, stood him up, had Nolan pulling guard, stood him up again. Nolan recovered by that point and just fucking steamrolled him. Down a hill action. Tom Nolan on Campbell, just down a hill. It just was momentum from that point forward. Gets the finish 4 minutes, 8 seconds into the round. And, Campbell, he's pissed. It's the first loss of his career, but he handled it well. He showed class, showed respect, shook Nolan's hand. These guys, I think, are the truth as far as some up-and-comers. Hopefully, they can continue making waves at 155. But Tom Nolan, big for the division. Got that hillbilly white trash look. All love, no offense at all. That's it. Seems like that's his look. That's his style. I like it. Make it dirty in there. Beat these guys up. So I fuck with Tom Nolan. Seems like a country guy. Can't really tell, but that would be my guess. What's next? I think, again, early. Let the matchmakers do their thing. No need to give him some crazy name yet or get all overhyped on him. Great win. Just keep building. Like Carlos Ulberg. Navajo Sterling, my man. Navajo Sterling. The streamer. Good fight. On the stream, I was pretty much just saying Navajo's issue. He had a big first round, right? And I think in the second and third, he must have just been tired. So, and the fact that he had a big first round, he landed a lot of strikes, and he couldn't do much to Bellato. Not even as the fight played out. So, Navajo got to work on 1, punching power, 2, stamina. You got to have the stamina to go all 3 rounds and keep that same pace, keep that same power, and you got to have power to stop your guys from coming forward. Bellato, some might call him mediocre. I think he had a good come up before the UFC. I think he's got a decent resume. I'm someone who somewhat believes in Bellato. If you give him the right matchups moving forward, see what he can do. He's shown the ability to get good wins in the past if you look at his resume. This one could be one of two things. Both of these guys, crazy to say, right? It's like this. Both of these guys are trash, or both of these guys are actually pretty good. And prospect worthy, I guess you could say. 29 years old, you see? 6'3". He's a big dude. He's gone up against Navajo Sterling and Paul Craig. But, look out for Bellato. Got a lot of finishes on his record. Fought some good guys. He goes 1-1-1-1 in his first 4 UFC bouts. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 no contest. Navajo Sterling improves to 8-0. Keep doing your thing, young buck. Looking good out there. To be honest with you boys, I didn't watch this fight. So this is where I fucking joined in on the card. But Cam Roston was making a debut, alright, off Contender Series. Andre Petrosky, tough veteran. He's got an extensive record in the UFC, as you can see here, 8-4, 8-4. But before this, he was 8-3, getting a debut taunt, and this man delivered. 30 years old, he delivered. Punches and elbows in round 1. I mean, he ended up on top of Petrosky, a NCAA D1 wrestler, I believe. So that's good work. That's good work. That's all I can really say. That's good work. You're getting that over Petrosky. That's good work. Now, do we know the level of Petrosky that showed up? We don't know. I got a theory that Petrosky, his consistency varies. Just my opinion. If you know Petrosky's history in general, as far as his life goes, that would be my guess. I think sometimes, he's super locked in. Sometimes he might be less locked in than others. I'm not here to make a ton of accusations. I'm just trying to say I would be curious to know what kind of Petrosky showed up. Sometimes you hear fighters say, I was battling this and that before the fight. So that's all I'm trying to say. And congratulations to the debutant. Enjoy your win. 1-0 in the UFC. Cam Roston improves to 13-3. Petrosky drops to 13-5. And, congrats to Malarkey. I know Bedoya, he still hasn't won in the UFC. That's 0-4 now. Entered 14-1, so, congrats to Malarkey. This is Volkanovski's training partner. Malarkey's pretty good, man. He had some bouts with Volkanovski back in the day. He's had some tough fights throughout his career. Take a look, Mauricio Ruffy, Nasrat, McDessie and shit, Naimov, Michael Johnson, Jalen Turner, list goes on. Devontae Smith is pretty good. For a ZM, Brad Riddell, Volkanovski before the UFC. So, Malarkey, put some respect on Malarkey's name. Good win, brother. 6-6, but you had a tough UFC tenure. I don't believe you're going anywhere. Let's see what's next for you. 12 bouts in the UFC in 6 years. Good work. Good work. I like to see the activity. And that's the card, boys and girls. That's the card. Now, let's get into the post-fight presser, though. Let's get into the post-fight presser. Some interesting stuff went down in the post-fight presser. Like I said, Dave Shaw announcing a lot of stuff that was being talked about before. I thought it was interesting what he had to say. Jimmy Crute talking as well. So we'll give everybody
you sort of don't enjoy the fight, obviously, is what you're good at. That elation when everything's sort of done and you just get to really be free and sort of celebrate. How good is it?
Dude, you hit the nail on the head. From the moment I make the walk, I just go, let it out.
But, first off, I see these fucking retracted messages. What's going on here, boys? Barry Burton, we need to know what you had to say. Jesse Schmauk, what's going on here? I come in here to read a couple chats and they're deleted. Let me know what you boys think. Ulberg being overzealous? Let's do a poll, right? Let's do a poll. This is genuine. Don't be playing into no hype right now. This is genuine. Is Ulberg being overzealous, trying to put his name in the hat for a title shot next week when he's likely already secured it on a full camp? He doesn't even need to turn around and do this shit next week. So the question is, should Ulberg be back up next week or fight winner? Back up, fight / wait for winner. Let me know. I guess I could have put an option in there. Fight fucking the winner of round Chi versus Pereira, but whatever. Alright, so here's the post-fight presser.
I don't think about a fucking thing, so you hit the nail on the head, bro. It's just freedom. Whatever happens out there, and I'm gonna ride it front and center.
Now, the broadcast talked about even the moment when a few fights ago when you put the gloves down, and they talked about the mentality and all that sort of stuff. Do you feel like it's almost time to sort of just fully move on? I balance my life, I balance my fighting. This is what it is now.
Dude, once again, spot on. Like, I had that little bit in the lead up to this one where I was just like, you know what? I'm just sick of talking about it. Let my actions speak louder than my words now. You know, I'm sick of saying I'm back. I'm sick of saying, oh, it was really rough. I'm sick of saying all this bullshit. Let's just focus on here and now.
And did you watch the main event? What was your thoughts?
I just caught the ending of it. Fucking Carlos is a jet, bro. He's a jet, just that ending. But I didn't see the whole thing. I was sort of in my own little world.
Now, I feel like you're going to just tell me whatever the UFC gives you, but is there anyone sort of you want next? You're obviously now starting to get a push. We're not talking about the old Jimmy anymore. There's a new Jimmy coming type thing. Is there anyone on your radar that you want to mix it up with?
Whoever Mick Maynard puts in front of me in February in Sydney can cop it.
And let's talk about your performance. Any critiques of it?
I don't know if he hit me or I wore him on my gloves. I saw him coming, but I didn't feel him. Probably could have kept my distance a little bit better. But I think I wore him on the gloves because I don't really recall feeling getting hit. I saw him coming towards me and I'm like, oh, that didn't hurt. So I think I wore him on the gloves, but I think the distancing I could have controlled a little bit more.
I mean, I guess you can check with the head coach, Sam Greco. Is there any negatives of that fight?
No, everything's a learning curve, step by step for us.
He said no.
He's a coach. He's a coach. Obviously, every fight you got to learn from. Anything that stays still in this game is dead. It's like so you just keep making progress, and there's going to be little things that I obviously improve on, and from the whole camp especially, not just the fight, but the whole camp. You know, you learn every step of the day, every step of the way, and every day you should learn something. And
people have talked a lot about like the emotional side, the mental side of your career, and how you've evolved. How much have you evolved physically since last fight?
A lot, I suppose. It's all mental for me, man. I've always had the physical gifts. I'm super talented, but my mind has matured. And where the mind goes, the body follows. So it's pretty much all mental for me.
And finally, any beers tonight?
Couple. Beers and karaoke tonight. That's what I'm feeling.
What's your karaoke song?
Anything by Creed. I reckon I'm going to rip the fuck into.
Do you want to give it a crack now?
Can you take me higher? You guys like karaoke? That's not my type of entertainment, I'm gonna be real. But shit, if you like karaoke for fun, I mean, shout out to you. Surprised me when he said that. I guess he looks like a guy who likes karaoke. Interesting.
Yeah, let's go.
That was beautiful, Jim. Voice of an angel, my friend. Talking about that evolution from a fighting perspective, I was wondering if you could take us inside that a little bit, because maybe for the layman's, what you were good at was grappling, wrestling, subbing people. You've also got some KOs on your record, but you're really good at doing that. Tonight you went out there, grappled, wrestled, and subbed a guy. So maybe to a lot of people, it looks like what you've always been doing. So what have those improvements been?
Mental, bro. It's all mental. Praise the Lord. Just staying present, you know, like, even in that fight, like, a fight can go your way 100% of the way. There's going to be moments where you get tempted to either pull out or to lose concentration, and the ability to just stay in there and stay at the forefront of your focus, that's a mental thing, and I think that's what I've really worked on. You know, in that fight, it looked like nothing went wrong, but there was times I was like, oh, fuck, I didn't expect that, but I keep my attention at the forefront, and that's all Jesus Christ, man. That's just what the lessons he's taught me.
Did you know you were going to do the backflip, or was it something that just came to you in the moment?
I've done one before. I did one in Abu Dhabi, but they didn't get it on camera, the pricks. But I actually landed on my feet on that one. So this one I landed on my knees, but I tried at least.
The official, record will go down and saying you won via submission via rear naked choke. It almost looked like a what is that move? What did the
SDFU?
Or the SDF? Or what did the Iron Sheik do?
Oh,
the camel clutch.
Yeah, someone tagged me in that too.
Yeah. So do you think it was the choke, or were you just like bending his spine in half?
No, I had I grabbed his neck and twisted. That's what I called it. Nah, I had under there.
So was the choke?
It was a choke. I was going to let it go because I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel on. And then I looked down, he's grimacing. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not letting this go. So that was another thing, like, being present in the moment. I looked down and I've seen him grimacing, and I made a decision to keep on it because I could see, and I made a decision. So that's a big evolutionary growth thing, whatever you want to call it, right there.
Congratulations on the win.
Cheers, bro.
Hey, Jimmy.
Sounds like Jimmy in the past used to just like make a decision in his mind and go for it rather than like feeling it out, if that makes sense. Like in the past he would have just been like, boom, next transition. Instead he was like feeling out the situation. He's like, you know what, this is good to stay in. Let me stay in this right now.
You talked about...
But actually, can we just look up what he did to this man? This is literally what he did to him. This is so fucking hilarious. If I just type in Jimmy Crute, will we be able to find it? Look. Look, shout out to Jimmy Crute. Shout out Jimmy Crute. Congrats, brother. Good shit. Good shit. Another guy who been through a lot in the sport, man. Good shit. Alright, we just had to do that real quick for context purposes.
Kind of the mental growth and that sort of thing. Being before the fight and here, I feel like we're getting two different Jimmys. You're a man with a few words on media day, and now you're an open book. So kind of, what's your mentality going into the fight, and how does it compare to post-fight?
I'm always just trying to be authentic, man. Maybe before the fight I'm a bit grumpy, I'm cutting weight, I can't really be fucked talking to you. But now it's like, whatever, you know, you can have me. Before I have to be a little bit guarded, maybe. I don't know, I'm just always trying to be authentic. It's never any conscious decision, it's just me being me.
And can you tell me about the energy and your feeling from the crowd after that win?
Oh, they loved it too. I loved it. I love it. I love the Australian crowd. At least.
Let me know when you're ready, man.
On to Dave Shaw. This is the...
All right, guys.
Stuff.
Just to kick things off, we got a few little announcements to make. First of all, thank you to the Western Australian government for having us back, and obviously to Tourism Western Australia, led by Di Bain, our close friend. Tonight was an excellent evening. Really excited to be back. Performance bonuses go to Ulberg, Jimmy Crute, Tom Nolan, and Pericic. The attendance tonight was 12,543, and the gate was 1.8 million approximately US dollars for the largest fight night gate in UFC Australia history. Yes, sir.
Dave, congratulations on a great night, man. First things first, what stood out to you from tonight? And I know there was a little bit of controversy around maybe the card not delivering as much as others, but it was a pretty action-packed morning here in Perth, Western Australia.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the first thing that stood out was maybe a lot of cans consumed yesterday during the footy. No, honestly, like, it just sort of felt like the night just kept picking up and picking up. It didn't feel like past pay-per-view numbered.
I'm going to go close my door because I got the AC that just turned on. But I'm going to keep this playing real quick.
Championship nights where it was just like full throttle from the first fight. But that was nice. Like, it picked up from the very beginning and crescendoed in what was a really incredible finish by Ulberg. We had an excellent week. I mean, Perth is really a destination for our team and for our athletes. This is coveted. Like, when the schedule comes out and we start to plan where we're going over the course of the year, people put up their hands like, okay, we want to go to an Australian event. So it was really nice for everyone during the week. We also had a significant amount of support from, I mentioned TWA, but also a number of different, government officials. And so it was great to have that type of support throughout the week at the presser, at the weigh-ins, and then now here today. So listen, another return. We talked about it a bit. I talked about it a bit in the press conference. Like, our viewpoint, our duration here is we're playing the long game, and this is just a step in the right direction for the business in Australia. When you think you get to a point and you've kind of maxed out what you can do, there's another gear, there's another level for us, and I think tonight proved that almost the audition of the fight night tonight puts a lot of different athletes in position for really sought after events and bouts in the future. Who knows, including shortly after next weekend.
In the States, sometimes the crowds don't come together till sort of the main card. Here at 7 a.m, it seemed like the place was pretty full.
Yeah.
Were you surprised the day after the AFL Grand Final?
Not at all.
7 a.m, packed.
Yeah, no, not surprised in the least. It's just, this is culturally how UFC is consumed in this country. And when we spend time in different places talking to broadcasters or governments or different sponsors, and people are like, wow, you have morning events in Australia. This is just the way that our sport works in this country, and it fits in with the scheduling of other sports, with it being Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon usually, and culturally it's what people do. They get together, whatever, barbecues, beers, Sunday afternoon, you get together and you watch UFC, and this is why our sport works so well in this country.
It was going to be a record card with a record number of fights. We had a few fights cancelled. Do you have any updates on Justin Tafa? Obviously that fight was cancelled last second. A lot of rumours around his future with the UFC. Can you sort of update us on that?
I can't comment on any information to share on his future. I actually don't know. I think he just had a sort of a weight-related illness, and he couldn't compete. So I don't have any updates, but we might be releasing something at some point down the road.
It's a good question, though. Justin Tafa, egregious UFC career to this date. Let's just pull out, how many fights has Justin Tafa pulled out of? I mean, I could have just pulled it up on my phone, but fuck it. Let's just do it here. I mean, it's just egregious at this point, Justin Tafa. And Junior Tafa. I mean, I'm on record, and I'm not going to stop saying it. Junior Tafa is one of the worst fighters on the UFC roster. One of the worst fighters on the roster. So here's this man right here. He has like 1 or 2 good knockouts in the UFC. UFC believed in him, and he's just fucked it off ever since. And then they even believed in him so much that they signed his fucking taller brother, a little bit slimmer, you know what I mean? Taller, a little bit slimmer brother. They signed him thinking he was going to be something too, and he's even worse than Justin. Okay. Weight-related illness, right? So we already know. Tafa withdrew from this one too. Okay? Tafa withdrew. Tafa injury. Tafa withdrew. Tafa withdrew. Tafa withdrew. So how many times do we want to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Let's call it 6 pullouts, 1 actual injury withdrawal. 6 pullouts, bro. 1 injury withdrawal. 7 pullouts. If we just type in Justin Tafa on X. I think I've seen someone report on this anyway. Oh, beautiful. If anyone wondered where the previous co-main event went, both Tafa brothers pulled out. His opponent said Justin pulled out, having been 7-8 pounds over. Justin Tafa and Junior Tafa have a combined total of 8 withdrawals. Thank goodness for Jimmy and Ivan. His brother stepped up for him one time. These are late notice fucking things, dude. His brother stepped up for him. Got eye poked. Couldn't continue a fight 29 seconds in. I mean, what are you going to say? This was his opponent saying, you know, got taken to the hospital because he had 7 to 8 pounds left to cut and it was too much for him. Heavyweight, by the way. Heavyweight. Couldn't make the heavyweight limit. I think it's like 265. Just the context, you know what I mean, for what we're talking about here.
An interesting moment in the Jake Matthews fight with Neil Magny. Seemingly the referee waved off the fight with a second to go and then continued it. Break that down for us. What was your reaction when that happened? And actually, is the referee able to continue on the fight after waving it off like that?
Yeah, listen, the whole situation was strange. And I think there was confusion where we were sitting. There were a number of us just talking through the particulars. I think in the end, and I think everyone's going to have a different position, but the fact pattern as we saw it was, you know, arm went a little bit, seemed to go a little bit limp, right? Like, you know, Magny's arm kind of came out and sort of flopped a little bit as if he was about to go out. My only assumption, and I don't want to speculate, my only assumption is that the ref assumed that he was going out and seemed to have stopped the fight.
When you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. Out of you and me. This guy's looking like an asshole. The referee's looking like an asshole. Everybody looking like an asshole because the referee made the assumption without doing You know, you gotta check it. Visual, physical. This should be what's being said right now. Yes, it appeared to be limp, and that's why you gotta check it physically too. You gotta physically come in, grab the hand, check it, feel it. Do not just come in and look at something and be like, oh, it looked like he was out, I had to call it. You know what I mean? In this context specifically, when the arm is there to be grabbed, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Do I think Jake Matthews has an argument? I mean, I do think he's got somewhat of an argument. It's a discrepancy in how things played out. I think that would suck for Neil, but again, the ref is making an asshole out of everyone because he got to learn, man. Don't make an assumption in the shit. Be sure. And then they're going to say, well, it's a double-edged sword because what if I just, let somebody get Bobby Green by Jalen Turner? And, come on. They're not the same thing. You would have known, everybody in the world knew Jalen Turner had Bobby Green out fucking dead on his face, right? After like 2 or 3 punches. So, let's be real. Gotta operate on common sense too.
I think objectively, and to most people, maybe different people have different opinions here, but it seemed like he stopped the fight, and he stopped the fight, importantly, before the bell. Now, there didn't seem to be much time before the bell, and so that's where the confusion, started. Jake got off because of the bell. Very clearly, the ref thought that Neil was sort of coming to, or he was fine, and then allowed the fight to continue.
What I will say, though, this is what I was actually thinking as well, and I think maybe it was a mistake in real life time. If something like that happens, we should really take the onus off the referee at times. This happened, right? Neil's protesting it. There was a second left in the round. Review the tape. Let's go to the footage. Let's go to the cameras. What happened? You know what I mean? How much time was left? Let's review the tape. Let's settle this. Let's not just leave it up to oh, the ref called it off. No, he canceled it. We're all good. You make a call like that, you gotta fucking pause the action. Go to the tape. I believe the tape would have seen it the way the referee saw it anyway. That's probably why nobody did anything. The tape would have probably seen it that way and been like, nope, let's continue. It was a mistake on the referee's end. Probably based off some of the shit I just said anyway, as far as not double checking and grabbing the arm and saying he's out and stopping it and then grabbing the arm. It was a moment of haste. He moved too fast. So, I believe if they would have reviewed the tape, the result would have been the same. I just want to put that out there. So because they didn't review the tape, now it's this whole thing of should the fight have continued, should it not have, right? Because the ref initially stopped it. And I'm saying, well, I mean, if they were to have reviewed the tape, 99% sure they would have let the fight continue back on. But because they didn't do that, now we're operating in this space that we're operating in, which, makes it more confusing.
So where do we go from here? I mean, Matthews his camp's able to lodge some sort of appeal, but this is all in the hands of the Western Australian Combat Commission, and so it's up to them to determine what the next step is. And honestly, I'm not really sure what the scope of the process would be and whether or not they would levy a no decision, but there seemed to be a mistake. Now, I should say that over our time in Western Australia, Anthony Grover and his team have done a tremendous job, and they've been very instrumental in the ongoing progress and regulation of combat sports in this state, and they've been a pleasure to work with. So the only comment I think we should make as the promoter, and by the way, promoter of both athletes, is this is in the hands of the commission to figure out what to do next.
Give me your thoughts on the main event between Carlos Ulberg, obviously, and Dominic Reyes. He was able to put out a statement win that makes it 9 fights in a row here. What was your reaction to it, and is he, in your opinion, likely to be the next contender for the title?
I mean, so my personal reaction was, I think, like everyone else, jumped out of my seat. It all happened very quickly. It was a very emphatic and very energetic win. He looked great. I don't know if you guys did you have the audio on of this earlier so you could hear Rob and Felder and Dan Helly talking about it? I mean, they're all sort of making the case that the way that he won, the fact that he's on, I guess, a 9-fight win streak now, being undefeated, and doing it, again, so emphatically, it puts him in serious consideration. So,
last one.
We'll see what happens on Tuesday.
Last one.
My bad. I was saying, long story short, he's next. Ulberg's next. We don't got to wait till Tuesday. The real question is, should he be the backup or should he just, be guaranteed the next shot? And if I was the promoter, if I was, Dave Shaw, I'd be saying, listen, man, I appreciate you being willing to step up. Listen, you just got the win. Congratulations. We don't want you to step up in a week. It's all good. We appreciate it. But take care of yourself. Recover. Heal up. Start training. You are next for that light heavyweight title. You fight the winner. You want to fly out next weekend? Come on out. We got you. Front row. We got you. But you're next, bro. We don't need you to come in as a backup on, 1 week coming off removed from a fight and then fighting one of these guys on a week notice too. Right? We're good. We appreciate your efforts, but we're good. We love you. We want to take care of you. We value you. We want a long-term, right, career for you. We're not just trying to make a quick buck off some quick-ass fucking hype. We're trying to go, long career, longevity in this. That's just my opinion. Now, I know it's only Dave Shaw, so he can't really say much. That's why he's saying, let's wait till Tuesday. But I would love to hear, I hope Dana would say, listen, I appreciate it. I love to hear that kind of shit, but we're good, man. Heal up, kid. Heal up, kid. You're next, kid.
For me, a lot of the fighters have been referencing a card in February, this Sydney
I
card.
feel like you got questions for everybody here.
No,
Anyone
this
else
is
got
the last
anything
one
else?
from me. This is the last one from me. What can you comment on that card? Is there going to be a February card in Sydney? Is it a pay-per-view? What can you reveal?
So where we sit right now is we are aiming to be back in Australia next year multiple times, but nothing to report. Jack was making the case. Was it Jack? No, it was Jimmy was making the case for Melbourne, I think. But listen, we've got a list of really great, really wonderful destinations for the UFC and a variety of different arenas. I think, who knows? I mean, our stadium days are probably behind us, but we've got a number of really incredible opportunities to come back to Australia. So, DB, we don't know yet. Yes, sir.
Okay, Dave's down here. When it comes to sort of what state you go to in Australia, has it turned into just which state government gives you more money, or does that play a major factor, or how much does that influence?
Yeah, it plays a major factor. It's a big part of it, right? It's about the financial commitment as much as it is about the support from the government in the promotion. Assisting us with, depends on where we go. I mean, Australia's not a unique situation in that we have government partnerships in a variety of different places around the world, whether it's the UAE, whether it's Singapore. We were in Baku in June, Macau and Shanghai, a few different places. So for us, we need to make sure that we can put on the best event possible. Part of it financial, part of it support from the government in terms of promotion. In several jurisdictions about assistance for us with travel and permits and licenses to put on the fight. So there's a variety of different things that go into it. I will say that we want to make our decisions based on what gives us the greatest likelihood to continue to grow the sport in any particular region.
So there's no situation where you think like Perth might be, and I don't think this either, but where Perth might be fatigued from UFC events or anything like that?
Put it this way, we'll never put ourselves in a situation where we're bringing a less than stellar product or when the ultimate product, the final product for fans doesn't make sense.
And of that 12,500 attendance, are you able to disclose how many were like complimentary tickets or anything like that?
Oh, we don't give away a lot of tickets. I mean, it'll be, it's like our standard. We've got tickets for our sponsors. We've got tickets for our broadcast partners. We've got tickets for, a few different groups that are connected with our company, but it's a small amount.
And then
I think he asked another good question too, but I just want to say great questions. You know what I mean? Good questions so far.
it was indeed a price slash on tickets at some point. Is that strategic? Is that what you guys do? If it hits a certain point, you go, okay, now this is what we do. Because obviously the production and the fight night is always going to be top notch, but getting people here is tricky when you got the AFL Grand Final, all that sort of stuff. Was it a strategic decision by the company to slash those tickets?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say slash. What we do is we employ dynamic pricing in a variety of different scenarios, and in this case, it made sense for us to do so for mostly the upper level tickets to make sure that
employ dynamic pricing. I like that over the word slash as well. It's all about how you word things. Tomato, tomato.
People got into the building.
And final one for me, when it comes to sort of, you come here, obviously it's a business, you want to make money. Mm-hmm. Production-wise was amazing. The performances were amazing. Financially, is this a win for the UFC this time around coming to Perth?
Yeah, I mean, I think I announced the largest gate in UFC Fight Night Australia history. So yes, 100%.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
It really goes to show, though, I mean, shoot, they really increased these tickets quite a bit. For them to, all the reports, right? The venue was half full. They slashed or employed dynamic pricing, whatever you want to call it, to the tickets the week of the fight with just a few days out, and they still broke a gate record. Still. And they're doing this everywhere they go. Every single fight night is a new fucking record. Every single time. Every venue they go to, it's a new gate record every time. Crazy.
Just one down here.
Yes, sir.
Quick one. Talking about that, so much was made about ticket sales, pricing, but as you mentioned there, it's the largest gate for a fight night in Australian history. The UFC continued to kind of do stuff like that, break records, set records, but so much was made of that and the timing about the grand final. Mm-hmm. What learning experience has this been for the UFC coming to Australia this time of year? What have you taken away from this?
Yeah, it's a good question. Listen, I think ultimately what we want to do is we want to put our best foot forward on the product that makes sense for fans. We want to deliver the best combat sports product there is. Scheduling, as we've talked about in the past, can be a challenging situation. Sometimes dates work out for you, sometimes they don't. I think in this particular case, we identified this weekend, despite some of the other sporting events that were going on in the country, as a weekend that we wanted to come because it made sense for the matchmakers with the type of athletes that they thought they would want to put on this card. We talked about it a bit earlier this week. I might have mentioned it at the press conference. I can't really remember, but the way that we've got our products set out with, numbered events at the top, we've got fight nights, but we've also got a number of other products, right? You've got Tough, you've got Contender Series, you've got Road to the UFC. Everywhere you look now, there are Aussies in all of our different levels of our live event products. Our team that runs the Road to UFC format, which, we're leading to the finale of that later this year or early next. The Aussies and Kiwis participated in that for the first time and were very successful, right? So part of the calculus, part of the decision that goes into when are we going to have events, what type of events, and where are we going to go, is thinking again on the long term. So what I'm getting at here is, Fight Night in Perth was actually the perfect type of event because it allows a number of athletes to be able to participate and flourish and sets them up for future opportunities, whether that's in, a big pay-per-view in Vegas or a numbered event somewhere else in the world or another fight night in Australia. So, if we were talking about some of the considerations that we put into what makes an event successful or not, I mean, we're all walking away this afternoon thinking that this couldn't have been better for us.
Is there a potential to bring maybe one of those other events that you mentioned, the Road to UFCs, those types of things?
For the record, just want to state it one more time. I can understand that. It can't always be banger, 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 banger in Australia. You got to take time, build the talent, as well as provide bangers. If you want to keep putting on bangers, keep building the talent.
Is there potential to bring those things here?
Yeah, there is. One of the products that I didn't talk about was Looking for a Fight, which Dana is extremely proud of. Potentially a Looking for a Fight. I don't know. I mean, we're looking to expand and grow on RTU because it's been so successful. So taking that to different places around the world, maybe it's here. What we've got to do and work with the matchmakers on is what makes sense for the level of talent in a particular region that we're going to want to deliver and actually operate this type of tournament format for. So the short answer is yes, 100%. The other thing is, continuing to strengthen the relationship that we've got with other MMA promotions in the region, including here with Eternal, that can help continue to develop talent that gets, individual athletes from another promotion to step into the UFC and be successful right away, right? That's like a really important consideration for Sean and Mick and Hunter and Dana.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the event.
Hey, Dave. There's been a lot of talk about multiple Australian...
Classic. You find that the good feeder promotion, right, as the UFC, as far as in these different regions, who's the good feeder promotion? Is it Cage Warriors for Europe? Is it, whatever they just said, Internal or Eternal for Australia? You find the premier regional promotions, then you kind of let them do all the work. Let them develop the fighters. Then you just come and swoop up their top fighters as soon as they become, champion, so to speak, and defend it once or twice.
Fights in Australia next year.
Mm-hmm.
City Kickboxing went 4-0 tonight, 3 first-round finishes.
I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, I ask you every time. It seems like no better time with the amount of fighters coming out of New Zealand to make a return to Auckland for a UFC.
I can't argue with you. No, you're absolutely correct. It certainly does, and I know that Hunter and Sean were speaking to Ulberg after the event, and like all good Kiwis, I'm sure he's advocating for a return to New Zealand as well. We would love to go there. The events that we've had in Auckland have been incredible.
You touched on a financial contribution from the local government. Am I going to have to go home and start talking to the council to try to get the UFC to come over to Auckland?
Yes. No, I'm just messing around. No, I mean, listen, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there's been news in the last few weeks about some investment into a major funds sort of grant pool at, I'm not sure which level of government, but I think the federal government, to attract major events, just like there are mechanisms in a variety of other places, including Australia. So whether it's concerts or, film festivals or food festivals or sporting events, we'll get a little smarter on that and make some decisions for 26.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey Dave, just a quick one. I want to revisit something that Dennis, you answered it pretty well before about the Jake Matthews and Neil Magny fight. It was waved off. Have you ever seen a fight continue after it has been waved off and the fight's over?
I'm not sure I have. I'm sure there's a reference. I'm sure there's an example of that, but I think at this particular moment, I can't remember a circumstance.
Yeah, there's been a few examples in the UFC where they've made a mistake. Oh, sorry, but the fight's over and stuff like that. And you mentioned before that it's up to Jake and his team whether they put in a protest. And you mentioned.
Well, sorry, I didn't say it's up to them. I said I believe it's a possibility for them to do that if they wish to proceed that way.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the adjudication of this is something that's got to be handled by the Combat Sports Commission of WA.
And yeah, mentioned a possibility of no contest, but also possibility of a win because the fight was over and Jake had actually won at that point. So, bit of history here in Perth again.
yeah. I'm not as familiar maybe as I should be, but I think in this particular case, it's in the hands of Jake and Anthony Grover and the team.
Have you spoken to both Camps and Magny and Matthews about?
I have not. No.
No worries. Thank
No
you,
worries.
and well done on the event again.
Thank you very much.
Dave, I was just going to ask, hey mate, given that was a really important fight for Jake Matthews tonight in terms of his career and where it's at, do you think the referee, he stopped it when he had a choke in, so do you think he's, in a way, prevented potentially Jake Matthews from winning it there in that first round?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's not up to me to speculate. I guess in theory, right, he motioned to stop the fight didn't stop, the fight kept going, and then the two outcomes are either Jake's going to win or he's going to lose. But, I think in these types of situations, human error sometimes plays a role in this stuff, and it happens in all different types of sports. But again, it's not really up to us as the promoter to be opining on sort of what's right and what's wrong.
Given that he did momentarily win the fight, is there any chance of him getting his win bonus or no?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, yes, there is a chance, but I don't know whether or not that's something that that Hunter and Sean, who are here tonight, Dana and Nick or not, would have to decide.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries. All right, guys, I think that's it. Appreciate the support all week, and we'll see you guys next year. Thanks a lot.
Time for Ulberg.
Sup, we saw how you're feeling. 4-0 for city kickboxing. You must be on top of the world.
On top of the world for sure. Yeah, man, feeling good. Big camp for us. All the boys get the W, and yeah, time to celebrate a little bit because we have other plans.
You got the 50k bonus. You're also having your after party near a casino tonight. Is that bonus at risk?
Nah, man, I'm not big on the gambling, but yeah, it's amazing that we got the bonus. But we'll celebrate it with the boys and with their wins, and then I'm gonna have an early one.
And speaking of other boys on the card, you two debutantes. Did you get a chance to see those fights leading up to your own?
I did actually, yeah, and I was still in the hotel at the time that Brando had fought. He got that knockout, which was amazing, and the 50k bonus. So I'm real happy for him. And I was still going through the motions at that point, doing my thing and preparing to make my way to the arena. And then on the way, we had a look at Cam's fight when we were on the way.
Speaking of preparation, did you prepare that Yuri impression?
Not at all. Nah, not at all. I didn't prepare for that question. So, but I think everything's kind of just on the flow and off the cuff.
And leading into this fight, it's been stated that you've been flying under the radar with your 8-fight win streak. You're now on the cusp of the title fight, all but confirmed with a win like that. Do you think it's now going to be impossible for you to fly under the radar the way you like it?
I don't think so. Not with a win like this. And speaking to Hunter earlier in the cage or just after the fight, I told him that, I asked him to fly me to Vegas. He said, sweet, all good. So we're good now. We're going to fly to Vegas. And then I also said, then and there, but I didn't confirm. And I said, I will be the backup for that fight.
And nearly all your KOs have come.
Who knows if Ulberg is just excited coming off the win or if that's really what he wants. In my opinion, no need, bro. No need, man. Just sit back and wait. You're going to get the winner. Go to Vegas, promote the fight that way. Try to get in the octagon. and face off against the winner. No need, bro. Do some interviews, do some media, enjoy the win, ride off that aura, right, from this first round knockout. Let Pereira, let Magomed maybe react to it. Feel yourself out a little bit. That's just me. You're making these promises so soon. Look what BSD did. Then UFC came calling, and he didn't want to take it. So, I'm just saying. And, Ulberg's done a great job so far. No, nothing against him. Like he said, he likes to fly under the radar. I feel like people should be like fucking Ulberg. Fly under the radar until now, right? Maybe until, 1 or 2 fights ago when it's time to really start talking. But during a lot of the come up, when you're not in the rankings and shit like that, or even when you're low in the rankings, at times, there's no need to make a lot of call outs. Keep getting matchups. Keep winning. Then once you got that undeniable resume, it's like, oh shit, bro. 8-0, 9-0, shit. Why hasn't he got a title shot? I really don't think Ulberg's win tops what Khalil Roundtree do, but he would be a fresh contender, so I'm not mad if he's next. So Jew thinks Khalil Roundtree and Prohaska winner probably gets a title shot over Ulberg. Aries said on God.
From you being rushed, you catch them on the way in.
Shout out Aries coming back late night stream, my boy.
It's well known about you. What do you do that still convinces these fighters to rush in and try to catch you when they know that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think every fight is different. With this particular fight,
I just want to say, one time, everybody like the stream, everybody subscribe. I see it's at 7 likes right now, so get it up to like 10. All right, that's my only time asking. Shout out to all the boys watching.
With every fight, I dictate the pace. I make them feel like I make them feel like they've got something going until they don't. So, and I knew with Dom that he would walk into something. He walked into I think it was the jab or the hook at first. He felt the power, and I saw it in his eyes that he didn't want to do that again. And then the second time, I knew that I would follow up with a 2. So he did that again, and then that's when I followed up with a 2. I saw him fall, and then finished the job.
Yesterday at the the ceremonial weigh-ins at the end, you had an amazing sign-out. But for the international stage, outside of New Zealand, would you like to explain what kefe means?
I didn't say that.
The comments all say it means brother.
Brother, it means brother, that's it.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Is that the Australian term, like, for the N-word or something? That would be my guess. I don't know. Anyone catch that?
Kiffy.
Carlos, you mentioned the backup spot. Break that down for us, man. Obviously, what made you want to ask for that spot next weekend?
I'm here to break records, man, and this is what I want to do. I don't think anyone has. I don't think from the top of my head is. I don't think anyone has fought a fight and then also the very next weekend fight for the title. That's what I envision. That's what I feel like can happen. So I put it in the air. I said but I just want to be there. I want to be there anyway at first. But then if they can make me the backup, that'd be awesome. If anyone falls out, then I'm there. I'll get the job done.
That would require you to make weight. Tell me, how are you feeling physically? Obviously, it was a pretty good night at the office, and would you be willing to cut weight so soon after just fighting?
Too easy, yeah, for sure. I can definitely do it. I am sitting at about 102 right now, and to make 93 would be easy. And you gotta do those things. And again, it's not like a typical fight campaign fight. This is for the title now, and this is not only that, but it's fighting a fight in the top 5, but then also the very next week fighting for the title. So this is different. This is breaking the rules, and I like doing that.
Just being, shout out to Ulberg. Shout out to Ulberg. It sounds like I'm just shitting on his fucking plan, and I apologize, Ulberg, but I'm just trying to look out for your best interest, okay? So if you disagree with me, I'll accept it. But I just want to say, he's kind of just saying right here, like, I'm down to cut weight again, and I can do it. I'm somewhat light, but still, 102 kgs when you gotta cut 9 kgs, and within a week of just doing it again. But he's basically saying, I'm excited to fight for the title, so I'll do it. It's like, bro, the excitement wears off after you lose that weight. You know, after your body's feeling tired, the excitement starts to wear off. So I don't even like that. Like, I would have rather you say that, no, I don't really even cut weight at all. Like, I stepped in there light, like I'm ready to go. But the fact that you actually have a weight cut you got to go through, and you're saying like it's not a full camp, like, well, you know, it's just kind of. I know you're excited, bro, but operating off excitement isn't enough to power you through a lot of the circumstances you're going to experience that you would put yourself through going and cutting weight and competing a week from fucking today. After everything you've been through over the last few months, you know? You got to think he's got some nicks and shit like that too. Injuries going into the fight. Heal up, bro. Drew says, I think if Ulberg gets skipped too, then he wouldn't mind fighting again. He doesn't seem like the type of guy to sit out and wait. He doesn't. And I would agree with you. If he gets skipped, he would fight again. Let's see what happens. Maybe he feels like he might get skipped, so that's why he's saying, like, I want to be the backup, but he's not going to admit to it because he doesn't want that narrative out there that he could get skipped. But that could very well be the reason why he wants to be the backup next week. Because he sees Khalil versus Yuri. That's going to be on the card too. And he's like, no, let me steal it over them. Let me be the backup. Steal their shine in a way. Be a part of the conversation too.
Me that you'd be excited to potentially fight Ankalaev, but of course a fight with you and Pereira would be really, really exciting as well. Out of the two, who do you think will come out on top if they do end up fighting and you don't get a chance to be the backup, don't get a chance to step in the UFC 320?
Yep. I think both guys would be massive for sure. Fighting Pereira would be historical, massive. He's got a big following. Everyone loves the guy. And finishing someone like him would be awesome or fighting someone like him would be great on its own. But then when you look at Ankalaev, who's been dominant and he's also beaten Pereira. You beat someone like him, it just means you're at the top. It means no one can touch you. And that's what I want. I want to make sure I beat the best. So if you want to be the best, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, I'm the man.
Last one.
Now, right now, Ulberg's the man. I was just about to say, respect, Ulberg. That's a beast-ass mindset to acknowledge Magomed is the man right now. Even though he feels like he's the man. Respect. You can feel like you're the man. Everybody got to feel that way. But he also acknowledged Magomed's the man right now. And if you beat that man, you get the ultimate respect, you know. And he's talking about, you know, he's got that grappling, he's got that striking. You beat a guy like that, there isn't really anybody you could say is better right now, right? I know you could say that about every champion, but I feel like, you know, Magomed, he is a big threat right now. He is a big threat to a lot of guys. And that's what he's trying to say, you know.
I don't even have a title. I'm the man.
Last one for me. This is a historic night for your team. I know it was asked right at the beginning how you felt about the victorious night, but for City Kickboxing to be the premier team in the world and then to come out here today, have this many wins at the elite level, but also most importantly with debutants and new names as well. Break down how proud you are to be a part of a team like CKB, and also, I guess, the secret. Like, what do you think is the secret behind you guys being able to be so dominant for so long with so many different fighters? Because I think it's pretty historical what you guys have been able to achieve.
I think it's no secret. It's just hard work. Honestly, we work really hard. I think a lot of guys that come into the gym, they don't last very long because of the amount of work we do. We really do work hard. And at my age, I'm 34, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can keep this up because you've got the younger guys who are quickly evolving to the training too much. But I'm 34, but I feel they're biting at the ankles. So.
Just down here, Carlos, talking about the performance tonight and the fight. They were talking about it on commentary before the shot that it seemed like both guys were kind of biding their time, waiting for kind of something to happen before eventually that shot was there. Did you know that eventually that opportunity for that shot would be there?
Well, for the backup? Oh, sorry.
To end the fight tonight.
To end the fight? Oh, yeah.
This man's on one fucking mission. He wants to be the backup.
My mission or my goal with Reyes was to box him. I put that in the air. Throughout fight week, but I'm not sure you've seen it. But
we saw the shirt.
I wanted to box him, and that was for Reyes. Yeah, that's it.
The last
I got to think about my fight next weekend, so I don't want to say too much.
The last few performances had gone the full distance tonight. Doesn't make it out of the first round. How good is it to get a stoppage again?
Yeah, man. I mean, like everyone talks about this fighting Jan and going 3 rounds with him. It's like I dictate the pace. I wanted to get those 3 rounds with Jan. He's a hard guy to finish, but again, I'm trying to save the body to make sure that when I get to the top, I can remain at the top for as long as I can, and the body doesn't have to take all that wear and tear. So I dictate the pace of the fight, and with every single fight I've been in, and I've never been put in any position where I'm going on the back foot unless I make it happen. So that's the mission with every single fight. Every fight camp is different for me, and I treat it that way.
I will say it's a great mindset to have when you say, I'm trying to preserve the body till I make it to the top, meaning inside the octagon. Not to say you got to put on boring performances, and not even to say what he's done is the right move, like going 3 rounds with Jan, but it's like, yeah, bro, take the path of least resistance, preserve your body the best you can in there till you get to the title shots, and then you can really go to wars in those big fights you're getting paid for. That's why I think jiu-jitsu is like a must-have, mandatory, because you can get out of there so quick with no damage. So quick, bro. You save so much miles, right? If you think about a car, think about it. If you guys are cars as fighters, each fighter makes it to the title at their own separate times. But how many miles you got on your car once you get there? You got 70,000, you got 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you got too low of miles, I mean, not like cars, that means anything, but in the terms of UFC, if you got too low of miles, you get there too quick, that ain't good either. In MMA terms, you got to be at that 70,000 mile mark when you get to that title shot. If you want to last. You could be at that 100,000 mile mark, but you're probably not going to defend it. Like that he's down, but yeah, it's not smart to be back up a week later. I mean, we've been giving Jamal Hill shit, haven't we? We've been giving Jamal Hill all kinds of shit, bro. He's the man till he gets caught on his glass chin again. Ah, Louis. All right. Almost done with this.
Thank you so much.
And Carlos, I mean, your teammates obviously did really well tonight as well. Do you celebrate tonight, or do you no after party? Do you go home?
I won't celebrate tonight. I won't celebrate. I mean, I will celebrate the boys. I mean, I'll turn up to Crown and do my thing, but then also I'll keep it light and keep it honest though. Got to express a bit, and then just got to be careful of the weight. Make sure that I don't go too much over 110 kgs. But I know because I think I started at 114 kgs. This is only about 6 weeks ago, and I know I can still cut that weight. So I'm now about 100 kgs. Probably down to 98, 97 now after this fight. But I lose pretty quickly, lose the weight pretty quickly. So, yeah, it's all good.
So has that been confirmed to you? Like, are you pretty much taken out as gospel? You will be the backup?
Not 100% confirmed, but
confirmed to you.
Confirmed to me. That's it. I just have that feeling. But the boys or the boys at the top have said that we'll fly to Vegas. They'll put me on the jet. They'll put me on the jet plane, and we're off.
Do you now, like, when you see Izzy now, do you kind of feel like you're about to become like the main character of City Kickboxing now?
There's only one Izzy, but I'll tell you what, like it's I think there's so much more to come from City Kickboxing, and it's nice that we have those guys to emulate and to be able to work off. So it's been nice to be in the background.
And apologies if you've already said this, but did you have a prediction for Uncle Ivan Pereira?
No prediction at this point. But I mean, I feel like nothing changes in that fight. And yeah, I wish the boys all the best of luck for their fight, and I'll be there to witness it, and that's the coolest thing is actually just going there and being a part of that event and just seeing it from my own eyes.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Carlos, can I just ask, do you know what day yet you'll fly? When you intend to go?
I don't know yet, but I'm here till Wednesday. I'm here in Perth till Wednesday, so I'm good with that, and I want to hopefully we've got enough good weather still until Wednesday, spend a bit of time here, go to the beach and enjoy it, and then I'll head home. From home, then I'll go to Vegas. So I think they might be organising a jet for me. I'm just putting that in the air too. From New Zealand, so from New Zealand back home. Oh, sorry, to Vegas.
And can I just ask your thoughts around the mindset of saying you want to back up, given that tonight you virtually guaranteed yourself to be next, with a good preparation and everything else? Why is it that you would go, well, I would go on a couple of days' notice and do it, when you've basically tonight guaranteed yourself time to organise that next?
Because I don't think anyone's done that before, and I'm here to break those records and just break the rules, man. That's what it's about, is doing those things, and that's what that puts eyes on you.
And
it's like, come on, bro, that's not a good enough answer, man. You want to break the rules, bro? It's not even like the rules are like what rule? Nobody says you can't do it. It's just generally speaking, it's not smart, you know? Like, that's all it is. Nobody says you can't do it. It's like against the rule. It's just like, come on, bro. It's not smart. Drew saying, oh, he's desperate for it. Bro, he wants it. That's why I'm bringing it up, making it such a big deal, because this man, all he wants to talk about and think about is this fucking backup. And it's like, I think I misspoke earlier. If I said the word Jamal Hill earlier, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. Obviously, it's Caio Braulio. We're giving Caio Braulio a lot of shit for being the backup, right, for Hamzat DDP, and that wasn't even a week removed. That was a few weeks removed prior to his main event against Nasruddin Imavov, and everyone's giving him shit. Caio Braulio. Who y'all got winning, Alex or Magomed? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a rock with Magomed. Alex did good in that fight. He did decent, but he didn't do good enough for me to be like, oh, Alex is going to win it. Does he not know that being backup doesn't always guarantee you that you're next? Shout out Ian Gary.
Just one more. I know, talking to Submission Radio through the week, Ray has said of you basically that you were winning quietly, that you hadn't had any. I think he said you hadn't had any signature wins. I know you didn't sort of engage through the week, but I wonder now afterwards what you made of those comments, and if they were added feel for what came tonight.
Yeah, I think he was just being honest, and I have been flying under the radar for a reason, and that's just strategy, you know, to make sure I get to a point, and you don't, because when I'm fighting someone, I'm watching their every move, and I know Reyes did the same. His brothers were watching my socials. They were keeping an eye, and I was like, these guys, come on. But they were doing what I do, and I respect that, and that's cool. So yeah, I think it just sets me up for this next fight, and I can see it. I can see it happening.
Thanks, mate.
Dave Shaw was in here earlier, and they're thinking about coming to Australia multiple times next year. But I mentioned with the surge of City Kickboxing's new fighters, Michelle Montague as well, the card in Auckland is no better time than now. What's your thoughts on the UFC coming back to New Zealand, and would you like to be on that card?
Yeah, for sure. It's always been something that I've always dreamed of fighting in New Zealand, and maybe in Mount Eden. That'll be awesome. Sorry, Eden Park. That'd be awesome. And for it to come back to New Zealand would be great. I mean, it's honestly no different to it being in Australia, because I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. But they haven't been back to New Zealand for such a long time that it's due to happen.
Cheers, bro.
Thank you.
So who gets it next? Khalil, Yuri, or Carlos? I feel like you throw Carlos up there. It's the same thing at middleweight. Almost can throw Carlos up there. And then Khalil and Yuri can also get the next shot, you know? Fresh matchups. Khalil and Yuri versus Magomed are also fresh matchups, you know? So put Carlos up there and mix the whole thing up. Now, the last topic of the day. The last topic of the day. Hang on. Let me get this right. All right. Derek Moneyberg is suing Sean Strickland after their recent run-in in Las Vegas. He announced it today on social media that Strickland made some damning accusations. I think maybe he's referring to that video he posted during their run-in where, he accused Moneyberg of being a scammer. So Moneyberg is taking it into the court of law now, and he's going to do some type of civil suit, right, for slander. And here's the caption of what Moneyberg had to say. I don't recall ever meeting someone so insincere as Sean Strickland seems to be. I've been a gentleman to this guy in every way. I've informed him and others have informed him that he is maliciously spreading lies and false information about me and my business. He has had numerous opportunities to stop and apologize. He continues to spread lies, however, so now we will go to court, and Sean will reimburse me for the damages he has created. Unfortunately, that is now the reality of the situation. I just want to say, if you watch this video that we're going to also play, of this picture right here, there's a video behind this picture. Once you watch it, these words right here mean nothing. I don't recall ever meeting someone so insincere as Sean Strickland seems to be. I've been a gentleman to this guy in every way. He's the one who called him an asshole to his face and stuff like that. This guy right here. This guy right here. And on top of that, Sean Strickland gave more beneficial and sincere financial advice than this man charges people $900 to receive from him. Okay? Sean Strickland gave it all to his fucking fans in a couple of sentences, right? As far as financial advice goes, to prove a point that this guy right here is not doing his people right. Whoever follows him, whoever buys his fucking educational courses, he's not doing them right. He is, quote unquote, according to Sean, allegedly scamming them. So here's Sean's response. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. When you sue me and we call in Jake Shields and in a room full of people, we put him in a deposition where he said, he's good, but I mean, he paid me over $500,000. How do you think I know you exist? Fighters who you paid to peddle your BS sent me to your page, or sent me your page. These are guys you paid, LOL. And that being said, you're in Vegas all the time. Roll through, sign a waiver. So Sean Strickland says, come put up or shut up. If you don't like what I be saying about you, come roll through. You're in Vegas. Let's run it at the gym. You want to sue me and shit like that? Come shut me up. And I love it. I love it. Moneyberg's not going to take him up on that offer, but come shut him up. Shut him up. And then Sean says again, slap lawsuit. He does it all the time. Actually, there is a great YouTube series on how he scams people. The best thing about him doing this, it will make his financial scams even more public. Silver lining, maybe it will help gullible people when it becomes even more public. This is true. And he's already done lawsuits in the past, which made his shit public, and it's already been used against him. Shout out Ronin MMA. Ronin MMA, great YouTube channel. I'm not sure if that's the channel Sean's referring to, but Ronin MMA has uncovered a lot of the underground details of Moneyberg's business practices to where Moneyberg can't even sue him for the information he puts out because it's literally all factual. And I'm pretty sure some of the info Ronin put out is from previous lawsuits Moneyberg has had, which he dropped and or lost. And so those lawsuits that he lost or ended up dropping for the same bullshit he's trying to accuse Sean of, Ronin reviewed those records and then posted it to show that like he doesn't do his supporters right, the people who buy into his courses and stuff like that. Let me give you an example of what this guy does. Moneyberg makes a video, right? For an example, whatever UFC fighter he gets on his show, call it like a Gordon Ryan, call it a Gilbert Burns. Moneyberg will make an interview with this UFC fighter, okay? He will then take that aside. He also sells courses, right, to achieve financial freedom. So people who are in these courses that he charges money to achieve financial freedom, he will assign them homework assignments, quote unquote, to go ahead and watch this Gilbert Burns video, right, his interview with Gilbert Burns, and answer some of the questions for a homework assignment. Now, number one, this is what it does. It ups the views on the video. It ups the algorithm, right, for the watch time and all that kind of stuff. He probably tells them to like it too and comment as well, like a fucking scoundrel. All fake shit. So he does that to promote numbers on his Gilbert Burns interview. He thinks he's such a genius. And then, let's say they don't do that, right? Let's say his followers, the people who subscribe to his business practice, let's say they don't do that. They don't follow that homework assignment. Well, Moneyberg has it set up to where, okay, you miss a homework assignment, maybe 1 or 2, I think max 2, you're dropped from the course. No refund. No money back. Right? Now tell me, what does listening to a Gilbert Burns interview have to do with achieving financial freedom? Gilbert Burns hasn't even done that yet. Sean Strickland, that's what I'm saying though. You don't gotta watch a Gilbert Burns interview. You don't gotta pay this guy $500 for a course and shit like that. Oh, and on top of that, he thinks he's so smart again. He charges you to get into the course, and then there's fees on top of that to continue charging you every step of the way in the course. All the assignments, half of them cost money and shit like that. And if you can't fulfill the course as far as like moving on to the next assignment and paying to get the material, the course material, right, to complete the assignment, then he drops you. So he gets your money for free and he don't got to keep teaching you anymore because you couldn't afford it. Now you're out and he just got all of that money. Took you for everything you got. That's what this guy does. That's what Sean's trying to say. And this is all alleged. This is all allegedly based off of a video on YouTube that I watched. How about that? Okay? I just explained it to you how Moneyberg does his shit and why he's fucked up. That's not even talking about the fake black belt shit. It's really not. We didn't even touch on that yet. Didn't even touch on it. Moneyberg is probably a fake name. Who knows if he's Jewish or not, or if that was a play too. You know, this guy's a clown, bro. And I feel bad for people who would ever fall for and sign up for Moneyberg's fucking courses. Now we got to see this video that Moneyberg posted. Here it is.
Sean Strickland confronted Derek Moneyberg. Like, that's not true. I go see the guy, and I see him in the lobby. I say, Sean, take a minute to come talk with me. And he kind of, we can talk at the gym tomorrow. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I fly tomorrow. But I'd appreciate it if you take a minute to come talk with me. We walk away a few feet, and we have a little conversation for, 90 seconds maybe. I say, I'm going to go back to the gym in an hour. Yeah. If you believe that stuff, we can train together tonight. We kind of head down, look away. You don't want to make eye contact. So then I said, Sean, I don't think you even believe the shit you're saying. But if you believe that, then do a grappling match with me. We'll do a public grappling match. I said, you can't tap me. You're not going to tap me in a grappling match. We walk to the elevator. He takes the phone out when we're by the elevator, totally changes his persona, and now he's a tough guy on camera. He's not a tough guy. He's just a bully. And then on the internet, they say,
just so you know, buddy, just because Sean doesn't want to make eye contact with your ugly ass doesn't mean he's scared of you. Just so you know that. Don't mean he's scared of you because he doesn't want to fucking look at your ugly ass. He ain't worried about you for a second. He steps in the cage for a living, bro. Fights anyone. Doesn't give a fuck. You're crazy, Moneyberg. You're fucking crazy. And the worst thing is, you're just like Jake Paul, bro. You go, I'll do a public grappling match with you. You can't tap me. You can't tap me. Is that all this is about, dumb bitch? About he can't fucking tap you? You are a faster black belt. You earned it faster than BJ Penn. You should be able to tap Sean Strickland. Say that shit. Stand on fucking business, bitch. Out here saying shit like, you can't tap me. You can't tap me. You're not about that. I don't believe that you're scared. You're just a bully. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're just a clout chaser. And Sean Strickland puts his money where his mouth is. Steps in the fucking cage every time. Shut your dumb ass up, bro. Shut your dumb ass up, bro. Jake Shields. How much money did he pay you to type this, Jake Shields? Derek easily beats most black belts. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, he doesn't. He wears socks. No man who wears socks could beat a fucking most black belts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Moneyberg got Mark Kerr on there. Moneyberg is a freak, bro. Oh, we got Henry Hoof, too. Didn't know Henry Hoof was broke. Sad day. Sad fucking day. Now let's go ahead and rewatch it then. Since Moneyberg wants to talk his shit, let's cap it off with this. Let's watch their run-in. We got it all right here. Let's watch it.
Crazy enough, guys. Look who I ran into. This guy's real big, real jacked. He says, why do I call him a scumbag on the internet? This is why I asked. And again, you could say...
So you got to do that for camera. You can't have a private conversation like an adult. You can only do things for the internet. You can't have a private
because
conversation.
What I have to say is factual, and you guys...
It's not factual. You just...
So you guys...
Taking off the backpack, Moneyberg instantly started walking away. Look how soon he presses that button after Sean took off that backpack.
Well, let me tell you why I don't... Would I like to get free money from this guy? Yeah, sure. Would I pay me money for...
But Sean, when I just asked you, hey, have a conversation...
Well, you asked me why I called you a scumbag.
Then you need to have your camera. You can only talk on the internet.
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
Only on the internet.
But I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
You're the one being the fucking scumbag right now.
No, I'll tell you why.
I'm saying it to your face.
I'll tell you why.
You're the one being the fucking scumbag right now.
To accuse somebody of talking shit on the internet who steps in the cage for a living, I will never understand. Look at this guy from a profile angle. Look at his profile. Look at his profile. That's a terrible profile.
I love my fans more than anything, you guys. And would I love to go take free money from this guy and peddle? Yeah, would I love to make free money? Crazy enough, guys. Make free money from this guy? I would. I absolutely fucking would. I fucking would love to. But this man takes advantage of low-paid UFC fighters who are great men who are just trying to make their mortgage and live a life. And he takes advantage of these men and he uses their platform to peddle financial scams and he sues people. And what he does is so dishonest and so scummy that no, I will not. Just because you're nice and you shake my hand and you say you're my buddy, no. You are a fraud. You are dishonest. You fraud people. This is why you don't want to be on camera, because you know everything I say is true. You've sued your people. I will never peddle his shit to you guys because I love you guys, man. Financial advice is easy. It's easy. Invest in solid mutual funds. Have a high yield account. You can buy individual stocks, but it's risky. I wouldn't recommend it unless you really make free money from this, unless you really pay attention. Real estate also risky. Your best real estate investment is going to be your first house when interest rates are better. But you are a scumbag and you're a fraudster, and the fact that you can't have this conversation on camera because you know everything I'm saying is true, and you won't use my platform or my name to peddle your shit to my followers. Ain't happening, dude. Go scam somebody else. Unless you really pay attention. Real estate also risky. Your best real estate investment is going to be your first house when interest rates are better. But you are...
Okay, so this is, this is the latest on Sean and Moneyberg. Sean gave better financial advice than Moneyberg would charge $1,000 to, for somebody to get a sniff of. On top of that, I will just say, Sean Strickland,
free money.
He's trying to say, let me remember, because I waited. I had the thought about halfway through that video. Let me think real quick. Sean Strickland. Oh, this is the thing about Moneyberg. Moneyberg basically disguises himself as allegedly. This is allegedly Moneyberg. He allegedly, describes himself as somebody who can help poor people achieve financial freedom, right? But the truth is, allegedly, Moneyberg just makes poor people, he bankrupts poor people. That's Moneyberg. Imagine being a poor person, coming across Moneyberg, subscribing to all of his shit. You only have like $1,000 to your name to spend, right? You spend your last $1,000 on like a Moneyberg financial freedom subscription, thinking it's going to change your life. And he cooks you out of that $1,000 within the first month when it comes to fees and homework assignments and subscriptions and shit like that, right? He cooks you out of $1,000. You can't continue paying into your second month, right, of the membership because you can't, because it's fucking $500 a month or something like that. Second month comes around, you can't afford to continue. He drops you, right? He keeps all your money. You learn nothing, right? And now you don't got that money anymore. So that's the kind of shit Moneyberg allegedly does. That's what I be hearing. So be careful, you know, because he portrays himself as a good guy, but look at his face. This ain't a good guy, man. This ain't a good guy. That's my opinion, that he's not a good guy. Look at this smiley guy right here. Look at this fucking con with his face on his own shirt. He ain't never accomplished a thing. His belly hanging out the bottom. With a fucking book bag or like a laptop bag. That's for a laptop, bro. That's what it looks like to me. So once again, I'm going to repeat myself. This guy, all right, praise on the financially, you know, the people who financially struggle, the financially unintelligent people out there, the financially weak people out there. He preys on them and takes all of it. He's nothing but a predator, allegedly, based off the things I heard. Predator. Good guy. Gives advice that you need in literally 1 minute. The world's best advice in 1 minute. Good guy. Allegedly a predator. Sean has been a clown for a while. I hope Derek gets a nice payout. Holy shit, Mark Hatch. That's wild. Sounds like Derek is trying to make an example out of somebody so people can stop talking about him. It's not going to work, bro. Like Sean said, go ahead and do this. You got to release all your business practices then to prove Sean wrong. If you want to take it that far, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it and see how well that works out for you, Moneyberg. We're going to have another 20 videos out on your ass as soon as that lawsuit wraps up and that info is made public. I'm definitely going on my fucking account and pulling up that whole lawsuit and bringing it all to you guys. We're reviewing all of it. And I do have the power to get those documents. I didn't fucking get a journalism degree for nothing. I probably could find his old court cases too, but I'm a little bit too lazy for that. You got to get the case number and everything. If somebody got the case number for an old Moneyberg civil lawsuit, give me it and I'll pull up the whole case. Didn't know Mark Kerr was still alive. I mean, I did, I guess, because he was on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day. Did he legally change his name yet, or is his real name used in court? That's what I mean. You got to do some digging. I'm sure that Moneyberg probably is his real name. I don't even know, dude. That's a good question. That's a great question, Louis. That's a great question. So shout out Moneyberg. Shout out all the boys watching. Late night stream. 1 a.m. here Pacific time. 4 a.m. fucking Eastern. If you're in Hawaii right now on Hawaii time, 11 p.m. Shout out to you boys. Let me end this poll. Looks like 56% say fight/wait for the winner of next weekend's card. So we are all in agreement. The majority of us are in agreement for Ulberg's next decision. I think Dana White will be too. Dave Shaw couldn't make a committed statement. That's okay. It's not his real name. I think he's from a criminal family in Canada. Derek Moneyberg, I'm pretty sure what I've heard is that he was raised by his mom or something like that. His grandma was wealthy. His grandma passed away, and allegedly he inherited a lot of his grandmother's fortune, including allegedly real estate properties and shit like that. I'm telling you guys, tap into Ronan MMA on YouTube. He's got like 4 Moneyberg videos. The older ones are the more informative. The later ones are more like this, reacting to this shit. But the older ones, he actually pulls up like real fucking hard-hitting info. He looks like Fedor. Fedor would kill this man, but he does, especially if he was bald. It's the mouth, I think. The fucking flat mouth. I saw that UFC released the countdown for Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev for this weekend's card. Now it's already fight week since it's Sunday now. So tap into that. Maybe we'll watch that if I do a stream tomorrow or some shit. But shout out all the boys watching. Peace out. Subscribe. Like the video. Still needs 2 more likes to get up to 10. But shout out all you guys watching. Appreciate all of you. And I will be back probably tomorrow. But I think I did what? I don't think I streamed yesterday. But this week I did like, this will be my 5th stream this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday streams. Today's stream. Maybe tomorrow's stream. This is a record though. Most streams in a week. So shout out everybody who've been tapping in. Appreciate all you boys. Peace.